Every parent has been there, standing in the middle of a store, your toddler throwing a full-blown tantrum. It feels like the world is watching, and you're out of ideas. But here's something that might shock you. Did you know that up to 80% of toddlers experience regular tantrums? And it's not just about them being difficult. Research shows that tantrums are a sign of a toddler's developing brain. They're struggling with emotions, but they don't have the skills to handle them yet. What if I told you there are ways to stop a tantrum before it gets out of control? No, it's not about punishment or threats. It's about using smart, science-backed strategies to reset the situation. In the next few chapters, you'll learn 6 game-changing techniques that can help you handle even the toughest tantrums. Imagine being able to stay calm, redirect their attention, and even prevent meltdowns before they start. You're about to discover how a few simple shifts in your approach can make a huge difference. Ready to turn those tantrums into teachable moments? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Mind over meltdown. The power of your calm. When your toddler's tantrum erupts, the first secret is this: stay calm. Sounds easy, but when you're in the heat of the moment, it can be tough. However, keeping your cool is one of the most effective ways to stop a tantrum in its tracks. Research shows that toddlers can sense their parents' emotions, so if you're panicking, it makes things worse. Staying calm can help your toddler regulate their own emotions too. According to Dr. Daniel J. Siegel in The Whole Brain Child, kids mirror their parents' emotional states. If you stay grounded, they may begin to mirror your calm. A calm tone can instantly change the atmosphere. Instead of raising your voice, try speaking slowly and softly. This helps to lower the intensity of the situation. It's also important to show empathy, but keep your own composure. This sends the message that, while you understand their frustration, tantrums aren't the way to communicate. In fact, studies have shown that when a parent maintains calm, the tantrum lasts shorter. The more you practice staying calm, the easier it becomes. It doesn't mean you won't feel frustrated, just that you don't let that frustration control you. A well-timed deep breath, or even a silent count to 10, can work wonders in these moments. One interesting fact: toddlers' brains aren't fully developed to handle emotions. They rely on parents for emotional regulation, so when we model calmness, we're teaching them how to regulate themselves. So, the next time a meltdown begins, remember that your calmness isn't just a reaction, it's a tool. It's your first line of defense in transforming the tantrum before it even takes off. Chapter 2. The magic of distraction. Out of sight, out of cry. Sometimes, toddlers are in the middle of a tantrum because they're simply overwhelmed by the situation. That's when distraction becomes your secret weapon. It might sound simple, but it works. A study from the University of North Carolina found that redirecting a toddler's attention can reduce tantrums by up to 30%. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, even just pointing out something different can shift their focus. Toys, music, or even a silly face can do the trick. For example, try switching gears by showing them a new object or toy that they haven't seen before. It's like a mini magic show that can catch their attention instantly. A helpful tip is to keep items that will grab their attention in your pocket. Something as simple as a colorful keychain or a small stuffed animal can spark their curiosity and take them out of the tantrum mode. Experts suggest that involving them in a quick activity, like a game or even asking them to help with something, can reset their emotional state. One unique strategy comes from the book How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish. It suggests offering your child a choice when they're upset. For example, would you like to play with this toy or that toy? Giving them the control of choice can diffuse the meltdown and help them feel more in charge of the situation. Distraction works best when it's unexpected. Toddlers are naturally curious, and their attention spans are short. This means you've got a window of opportunity to shift their focus before they spiral further into the tantrum. The key takeaway here is that when you change the direction of their energy, you often break the tantrum's grip. Distraction isn't about ignoring the problem, it's about creating a momentary break to reframe the situation. Chapter 3. Empathy. The sneaky trick that turns tears into smiles. Sometimes, a tantrum isn't about being tired or hungry, it's about feeling misunderstood. That's where empathy comes in. Dr. John Gottman, a leading psychologist, emphasizes the importance of validating a child's emotions in his book Raising an Emotionally Intelligent Child. He says that when children feel understood, their emotional state can settle much quicker. When your child starts crying or throwing a fit, try to meet them where they are emotionally. A simple phrase like, "I see you're really upset right now," can work wonders. It's a small step but helps your child feel validated in their feelings. Validating their emotions makes them feel seen and heard, which is essential for calming down. What many parents don't realize is that empathy can be just as powerful as discipline. It doesn't mean giving in to their demands, it means recognizing their emotional experience. A study from the University of California found that children who felt their emotions were acknowledged were less likely to throw tantrums in the future. You can go a step further by offering comfort. A gentle hug or a hand to hold can make your toddler feel safe. Studies show that physical comfort triggers the release of oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, which can help calm their nervous system. Another strategy comes from the Positive Discipline book by Jane Nelson. She suggests using phrases like, "I understand you're upset because we need to leave, but let's pick up your favorite toy to take with us." This way, you're acknowledging their distress while guiding them toward a solution. It's not about fixing their problem but showing them that you understand it. Sometimes, empathy can even stop a tantrum before it starts. The more you practice recognizing and empathizing with your child's feelings, the easier it will be to turn their frustration into calmness. A child who feels truly understood will be less likely to escalate into a full meltdown. By the end of this chapter, it's clear that empathy is a powerful parenting tool. It's not just about giving your child what they want, it's about connecting with them emotionally, which lays the foundation for a more harmonious relationship. So next time a tantrum hits, try starting with empathy. You may be surprised at how effective it is. Don't forget to subscribe to get the next few chapters with more life-changing strategies. Chapter 4. When Words Won't Work. The Silent Strategy. Sometimes, your words just aren't enough to calm a tantrum. In these moments, silence can be your best friend. While toddlers may not always be able to express themselves with words, they are highly attuned to body language and nonverbal cues. In fact, a study from the University of Maryland found that over 90% of communication is nonverbal. This means that when a toddler is in the middle of a meltdown, your actions often speak louder than your words. Instead of trying to reason with them, which can lead to more frustration, focus on your body language. Kneeling down to their level can create a sense of safety and comfort. Making eye contact and using a gentle tone can help calm them without adding to the noise of the situation. One strategy is to hold their hand or give them a reassuring touch. This physical connection can trigger the release of oxytocin, a hormone that helps reduce stress and anxiety. A study from the University of California found that physical touch from a parent can lower cortisol levels in a child, making them feel calmer. Another way to use silence effectively is to give your child a cool down moment. Instead of a traditional timeout, you can guide them to a quiet space where they can sit and calm down. This is less about punishment and more about giving them space to reset. The Positive Discipline book by Jane Nelson suggests this approach, noting that a quiet corner with soft lighting and calming items can help toddlers regulate their emotions. By staying silent and non-reactive, you're teaching your child how to handle their own emotions without feeling overwhelmed. It's a subtle yet powerful way to create emotional regulation. In the end, the silent strategy isn't about ignoring your child, it's about creating a peaceful space where they can gather their emotions. This tactic helps toddlers understand that they have the ability to control their feelings, even when it's tough. Chapter 5. Consistency is key. The tantrum-proof parenting blueprint. Children thrive on consistency, and this holds true when it comes to handling tantrums. One of the best ways to prevent frequent meltdowns is to establish clear, predictable routines. According to a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics, children who follow consistent routines are less likely to act out, as they feel secure in knowing what to expect. Setting expectations and maintaining routines helps your child understand boundaries. For instance, if you have a set bedtime routine or a consistent leaving time, when you're out at stores, your child will feel more at ease knowing what's coming next. This sense of security reduces the likelihood of tantrums because they know what's expected of them. Consistency also involves your responses to their behavior. If your child learns that tantrums are met with calm, firm boundaries, they will eventually understand that tantrums won't get them what they want. The No Drama Discipline book by Daniel J. Siegel and Tina Payne Bryson emphasizes that when parents are consistent in their responses, it helps children learn better emotional regulation. One important aspect of consistency is following through. If you say, "We're leaving in 5 minutes," stick to it. If you negotiate or back down when the tantrum starts, it reinforces the behavior. Children need to know that when you set a rule, it's not flexible in that moment. Interestingly, research from the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development has shown that toddlers who experience predictable patterns of behavior in their environment are less likely to engage in emotional outbursts. Routines give children a sense of control and stability, which decreases their need to express themselves through tantrums. So, when you create a consistent approach to discipline and routines, you're laying the foundation for fewer tantrums and a more peaceful household. The consistency you provide will help your child feel safe, secure, and more emotionally regulated. Chapter 6. The Countdown. Why timeouts don't have to be timeout. Traditional timeouts have been the go-to strategy for many parents, but what if we could rethink this concept to make it more effective? Instead of isolating your child, try a cool-down countdown method. This strategy, recommended by Raising an Emotionally Intelligent Child by John Gottman, involves giving your child a chance to self-regulate with your gentle guidance. The countdown starts when a tantrum begins to escalate. Instead of saying, "Go to your room," calmly explain that they have a few moments to cool down before things get better. For example, "Let's take 3 deep breaths together, and then we'll talk about what happened." The key is to stay with them, helping them regulate their emotions in real time. This strategy is supported by research. A study from Harvard's Center on the Developing Child found that children are more likely to succeed in managing their emotions when parents guide them through moments of distress, rather than simply removing them from the situation. This gives them the tools they need to control their impulses in the future. Using the countdown method also encourages problem-solving skills. When you calmly give them a moment to reset, you're helping them take responsibility for their feelings. By taking a break together, you model how to step back and think before reacting, an important life skill that they will carry with them into adulthood. Another benefit of the countdown method is that it avoids the potential for power struggles. Traditional timeouts can feel like a punishment, which can cause resentment and escalate negative behavior. On the other hand, the countdown method invites collaboration. It's not about punishment, but about helping your child regain control of their emotions. As you integrate this method into your parenting, you'll notice that your child becomes more independent in managing their emotions. The more you practice this approach, the fewer tantrums you'll face. Eventually, your child will begin using the cool-down strategy on their own when they feel overwhelmed, which is a huge win for both of you. In the end, the countdown method can be a game-changer. It's a proactive, nurturing approach that teaches your child how to manage their feelings while building trust and cooperation between you and them. Timeout doesn't have to be a time of isolation, it can be a moment of learning and emotional growth.